Welcome learners. In this session, we're going to talk about how you can integrate the Google Map plugin and display the plugin into the map. In the last session, we have got the credentials and we have put that into the manifest file. The manifest file kind of is the encrypted version which lets the users know before downloading the app on Play Store that this app will be using maps. Hence, it's equally important that you should be having the manifest declaration for Google Maps into your app. Next, what we're going to dive in is how to put simple marker positions into the app. We're going to understand how your live location can be plotted. We're going to understand how we are going to help camera positions to determine the animation of your Google Map. All this will be learned, but for that, just tune in to our present session. Let me demonstrate to you how exactly the UI will look once we have integrated Google Maps. Imagine this being your phone. Over here, on the major part of your screen, we're going to display your Google Maps. Next, I'll put a marker, and this marker for present scenario will be pointing towards your current location. Now, let's try and understand two things. The first being something called as camera position. Let me give you a demonstration with the help of the Google Maps on the browser. When I try to load Google Maps, it defaults to my current location, and then over here I can search for, let's say, Taj Mahal Palace Hotels, and over here I'm going to click, which takes me to this particular location. Did you notice it took some loading time and then it went there? That's exactly what is camera position. Now we'll try to put exactly on the center your Google Map with your marker on the center position. Next, what we are going to try and understand is something called as markers. Well, right now we'll be having one marker, so your marker will be getting a ID. For now, I'm going to hard code the ID as 1. Let's try understanding these two aspects with the respect of Flutter. Heading over to location, I'm going to create a new Dart file as display maps view. Now this display maps view is going to be a stateful widget. The reason why it is going to be a stateful widget is because over here I'm going to request double latitude, double longitude. Well, what exactly is this? This is going to be the latitude and longitude where you will be standing from your GPS position, which we will be retrieving with the help of geolocator plugin. Let me take this and mark this both variables as required. Next, let me create the class display maps view state that shall be extending the state, and I'll put over here display maps view. Let me hover on this and take the missing override option. Now, do you remember the late initialization concept? We already discussed this when we were trying to implement our video player. In this case, I'm going to create a late initialization for my camera position, which will currently be showing my user location. In fact, let me rename this to user camera position. Next, inside the init state, what I'm going to try and do is initialize my user camera position, wherein I'm going to use something called as lat-long class from the Google Maps. In fact, let me just take the camera position and within this target use the lat-long class. Well, what does this indicate? This indicates where exactly should I place the marker. I'm talking about this marker. So I'll say widget.latitude, widget.longitude, followed by zoom level, let's say 15. What is the zoom level? This zoom level defines what is the depth of your view when you're trying to display the camera. Let's say when you are trying to go over here, I can try to zoom in so that I can clearly see the lanes, restaurants and etc. things which are in and around Taj Mahal Palace. That's exactly where this zoom level is going to be there. For now, let us hard code to 15. The maximum level you can go over here is 30. Next, over here, I'm going to return Google Map. The very first thing it tries to show is the initial camera position, and I'll put user camera position. Now over here, I'll set the map type to something called as map type.normal. This particular view that you're trying to see is a normal map. You can try changing from here to have different combination of maps like hybrid, etc. etc. Same way, in your Google Map, you can try to change the map type from here and have combinations like hybrid, satellite and terrain. Now, here comes the last part wherein we are going to have the markers to get displayed. Right now, I'll put just one marker wherein I'm going to give a unique ID 1 followed by the position for the marker as lat-long widget dot latitude followed by widget dot longitude. Over my icon, I'm going to show the default marker icon. Let's try using this entire class in this create state wherein I'll put display maps view state. Now, do you remember this container? Over here, we had done the error handling for our GPS. What I'm going to now do is remove this container and put over here display maps view. Well, over here from the snapshot, that is over here, if everything goes well, we will be having the user's position. Let's try saving this user current position, in which I'm going to retrieve the data from my snapshot data. Over here, I'll put user current position dot latitude, user current position dot longitude. Now, let me try to run the app. As the hot restart is complete, I'm going to head over to this show GPS location, and this time I'm going to say while using the app, and this in fact loads the Google Map and shows me this entire Google Map, which is the regular Google Map, and this in fact is pointing to the location where I'm currently sitting. Now over here, when you tap on it, let's say you want to have some kind of a event wherein I can put info window. What is an info window? A small message window which can say that this title, let me check, yeah, it's a string, and I'll say you are here. So when I do a hot reload, and this time when I click on the marker, it should say yes, you are here. Well, how did we achieve this? Is because when we tap, this info window will show up the title. In fact, we have put one of the marker that is pointing towards your current location, and your camera position also pointing towards your current location. What I'm going to do is try to move around. So basically, right now I have no option to return back to the original position. Let me quickly try to have at the bottom of the Google Map widget, I'm going to put one particular floating action button. So over here, I'll make the Google Map with position.fill. So basically, the Google Map now occupies from the topmost to the bottommost section of my app. Next, what I'm going to do is try to position one icon button, and I'll say icon button with the on press function, and icons dot GPS fixed. So this basically, what will it try to do? Once you have your Google Map, it will try to locate you back to the current position. Well, this will be now be displayed from the bottom at 30 pixels and right side 30 pixels. This GPS fixed would rather be not visible, hence what I'll try and do is try to increase the size to, let's say, 50, and for now what I'm going to try and do is set the color to colors dot teal. Now when I do a hot reload, yes, I get to see this icon. Well, it slightly overlaps on this zoom, hence let me move it up. I'll put from the bottom 60 pixels. Well, it's still slightly touching. Let me keep it as 80 and on the right side as 20. Hopefully this time it does not touch the zoom buttons. And yes, it does not. Well, what I'm going to show to you is something called as a map controller. Like I keep saying, each plugin has got its own controller action. What this icon will be doing, let's say if you have moved your map and you want to go back to the original position, in that case you can tap on this icon and then it will pull you back to the current location where exactly you are standing. But for this you have to stay tuned till the next session. Hopefully you like the demonstration wherein I've taught you how you can integrate Google Map. But the point is, the animation was not so very good. In the next session, I'm going to talk about how you can animate the marker, and then even when you're moving miles away from the Google Map location, if you click on that GPS button, it will drag you again to the center position, indicating your live location. I'm also going to make our next tutorial to have our Hoping Minds office get plotted. We are also going to discuss the zoom parameter, how to control it programmatically, but for that you need to stay tuned and keep learning with Hoping Minds.